So my last question is, I adopted a child 11 years ago and just lost custody of him 1 month ago. He was actually my ex-husband's grandson.
Okay.
And we went through the legal custody and legal adoption. Everything was fine. And I allowed his grandmother to have a relationship with him, which would have been my ex-husband's ex-wife. Everything was fine until they thought that they didn't have to respect what I was doing with my child. So the two of them filed a petition for custody of my child, and after a 2.5-year fight, the judge gave custody of my child to my ex-husband. And my ex-husband has tons of medical conditions. He has an amputated leg. He cannot work. He's on disability. He admitted on the stand to taking 3 Lortab 10 a day. He has homosexuals living in the home, sleeping together, and he's 4.5 years in arrears.
So I guess let me stop you there, Michelle. I guess you're wanting to know, is there a recourse that she can take at this point since the child custody has been given back to her ex-husband?
Well, I don't really understand your situation, because in an adoption, when you adopt a child, that child becomes your legal child, meaning the same rights that you would have had if you had actually physically given birth to that child. So when you say that custody was removed from you, it sounds like it was a dependency action, and I don't know if that's a term that you're familiar with, but it's basically a petition where there has been some type of allegation of abuse, neglect, or maybe abandonment on behalf of the parent that someone else has filed against you. So I don't really have all the facts to answer your question, but generally speaking, regardless of whether or not you gave birth to a child or you adopted a child, if a person files a dependency case, which is typically the way that most non-parents would go about, because under the dependency case, they don't have to have a relationship with the child or be biologically related. They can simply file a petition and say, hey, this child has been neglected, this child has been abused, and therefore this child needs to be removed from this prospective, home environment, in which case the Alabama court has jurisdiction. And so in a situation like that, then you have a trial whereby they have to prove the allegations of dependency, and the only court that has exclusive jurisdiction over dependency is family court. So that's a juvenile court, in which case you would be entitled to a trial and things of that nature. So it sounds like you went through a dependency action, and in which case I couldn't tell you unless I knew what the allegations were against you, not so much as what the allegations were against them. But typically in a dependency case, one of the first things that the courts do is they ask DHR or some type of investigative agency to go do home evaluation on each prospective environment. And depending on the allegations, they can also ask you to submit to drug testing and other things of that nature. So just long story short, I really don't have enough facts to answer your particular question, but generally speaking, sounds like a dependency case is what took place in your case.
Okay. Moving on.